Suzanne Cross has been singing with a variety of top-notch bands and organizations in the Chicagoland area for many years. Starting out with the local cover group, The Symbols, she later wrote music and sang leads for the original rock group, The Method. Able to sing a variety of styles, she turned to classical, singing with the prestigious Chicago Symphony Chorus for 4 seasons, 1999 through 2003. Lead singer for the blues rock group, The Mighty Grouper, and is lead singer and rhythm guitarist for The Great Pretenders, a Pretenders tribute band. Suzanne has worked with Grammy winners and stellar musicians. She is a music therapist by day. She sings many styles with ease, including standards, blues, soul, classical, and her favorite style, rock. Ruth Mansisha is the chief executive artist and owner of 2 small businesses centered in arts and entertainment, The Funky Brush and Palette, and Fun Funky Fab Arts and Entertainment. She is a self-taught artist, a wife of 28 years, mother of 5, grandmother of 6, and great-grandmother of 4. She is known for adding glitter to everything. This is not just a cute description. She literally adds glitter to everything. From sip and paint events to glow-in-the-dark parties. If you need a real live princess or superhero at your special event, Ruth is the one to connect with. She has been on a journey of personal growth and wholeness for several years now. By being a student of Kingdom Entrepreneurship and Kingdom Impact, she continues to be blown away as God's overflow chases her down as she partners with Him on all her endeavors. Nina Canuti is 23 years old, a recent DePaul University graduate with a degree in communications and media studies. She is an aspiring astrologer, a tarot reader, and student of life. She has always had a passion for serving and helping others. She loves healing and brings more love and grace into the world. Her goal in life is to aid others in feeling seen, heard, and loved. She plans on attending grad school in Melbourne for counseling in the near future. Angie Olguin is a certified life and wholeness coach. She is a former high school dropout, gang member, and single mom, turned fun-loving, healed, and whole. She is a coach, small business owner, podcaster, and influencer.
Listen, beloved, because you're worth it and because you're valuable, you deserve to not be mistreated, and you determine what you allow and what you don't allow.
She has a passion for emotional intelligence and empowering individuals to heal. She teaches the skills needed to live in relational, emotional health, specializing in relationships, boundaries, and conflict resolutions. She started her own business in 2018, Elevate Coaching and Consulting. After receiving her coaching certification, working for someone else never really crossed her mind. She launched a podcast in July 2020 titled Elevate Life with Angie, about emotional awareness and personal transformation. She's a firm believer of not striving to be perfect, but rather embracing mistakes and our humanity as a beautiful part of life. One of her life messages, you are strong. You can do hard things. Having fun is a big part of Angie's personality and life. She has raised 2 strong, smart daughters who are thriving community leaders and influencers. She has 1 grandson. She is a 3rd-generation Mexican-American. Raised as a military brat and moving all the time, Dominique Hadley, originally from Newark, has found a corner of the world to raise her 2 incredible kids. Daughter, Kylie, and son, Malcolm. That corner is Elgin, always a flair for the creative, Dom has held positions in the art industry, from photography and graphic design to hairstyling. Dom has always tried to remain in charge of her own destiny. A graduate of Larkin High School, Dom has been planting roots in Elgin for almost 17 years. Now her daughter Kai, is about to graduate, class of 2022, the top of her class from Academy at Larkin. Kylie is Dominique's dream of a firstborn, who was born and raised in Elgin, with the potential to take over the world. Kai is an amazing artist who, in the future, hopes to become an art director. Life has had its ups and downs for these two, but each passing year finds this mother-daughter duo growing closer.
I'm not looking at Ruth. I'm not looking at Ruth for the whole night.
No. She's gonna mess you up.
Cry from the jump. I was crying.
I love building up the women. You know, I think that's what we need to do more of, is building each other up. But what a gift, the gift of motherhood, you know, and then daughters who are blessed with having amazing moms. And that's why I chose you guys, and I asked you all if it could be a part of this. So I'm really honored that you're here. Let's start with just a question to the moms. Were your pregnancies planned? Like, were you looking forward to becoming a mom?
I'll go first. So I actually was 15 when I had my beloved Angie. So that in itself is a whole segment. Like, you only got 2 hours, so I don't want to take up 2 hours. Just but I could definitely. So so to say it was planned, without a doubt, no, of course not. 15, not even knowing yourself, not and then you're gonna be responsible for someone else. So no, she was by no means planned, and little did I know even what to expect, or what it was going to take. I had no clue, but clearly just those dynamics, there would be a whole lot that I could cover in that. But so even though, no, she was not planned, I cannot imagine my life or anyone else's life that has ever been near her, even in her atmosphere, without her having been born.
Come on, Mom. Come on, Mom.
No, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine. She's a joy bringer. She's a joy bringer. She brings a lot of things. Okay. And I think all these moms could say the same thing. All right. Angie was by no means, little did I know not only what my life was about to become, but if someone had told me, oh, at 15, you're losing friends. At 15, people are going to stop talking to you. At 15, you're now an outsider. You're shunned. You're like a leper. Okay. If somebody told me that from that situation, this freaking amazing woman was going to impact the people she does through, the remnants of broken things being restored, all of that. Oh man, it'd be like, I do it again. Walk away. Wait, people walk away from me. Go ahead. I don't care. I don't care. When healing comes and redemption comes, you can't put a price on what happens with that. So I'll let go on that, because I literally could talk about that for 2 days. So
I get it. Thank you, Ruth.
I was very ready to have a child, Nina, my firstborn. I have 2 girls. I was in my 30s. I was a lot older. Had just gone back to school, and I wanted to wait to have kids. I felt a lot of pressure to have kids, but I made sure I got that music therapy degree because I went back to get it. And I was very ready. And the day she was born, I'm going to gush just like you gushed about your daughter, Angie.
Gosh, girl.
Even my mom, Mimi, who's an interesting character in herself, in and of herself, looked at Nina and said, there's a wise little look on her face. And other kind of kooky things. She's got the Indian gene. She had this, we have a little bit of Native American supposedly way back when, but she just had this wise look on her face. And it's proven to be a thing. Another thing I want to say, I knew the second I was pregnant, not to get graphic, ladies, but I knew this. I knew it. When the egg met the sperm, I knew I was going to have a baby. So she has no, I swear.
I believe it. I believe
do.
it. Yes.
And no offense to her sister, when their dad, he knew it before I did that I was pregnant with her. But Nina, I don't know, there's something. So it's kind of divine, to have waited till after I got another college degree and all this. And she came at the right time and it was meant to be, and divinely inspired.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
So I'm lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah, girl, you lucky and blessed.
All the above.
All the above.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I still say she's mine. You just had her for me.
We'll fight over her, I guess. She's a child of the world, I'll tell you. She's a person of the world.
Totally.
She just came through me. She came through me, but she's a child of the world.
Yeah.
No, Kylie was not planned. I was 19. I had just gotten accepted to a really good school. My mom was so proud of me and this, that, and the third. But yeah, Kylie was not planned. She was the product of love from a high school, a teenage love, if you will, as LL Cool would say. And did not know that I was pregnant, although I should have known considering. But I knew that when I was pregnant with Kylie, and I always tell her this, that I was the strongest I've ever been. I mean, I held down 2 jobs, went to school full time, walked everywhere, had my first apartment. I mean, even my mom had to step back, who really wasn't happy about my pregnancy at all. And incidentally, I had to tell her my first year of college right before Christmas break. So Merry Christmas, Mom. Your grandma, which she actually, and that's another story for another episode. But she even had to look at me and said, God, you're so strong. I don't know if I could do what you're doing, Dominique. Like, it was nothing. Like, everything to me was a breeze with her when I was pregnant with her. And I always say, I have a lucky, the number 4 is my lucky number because Kylie was born on April 4th, 2004.
Wow.
At 3:03. If I had
4.
Hour,
that's crazy.
Right.
What?
Yeah, exactly. And if I had waited another hour and a minute, she would have been born at 4:04, but she was born at 3:03. So
okay.
But, and on Palm Sunday. So
wow.
So it was just, you said she was divinely brought into the world. Nina I couldn't ask for, like, when I tell you my life has been hard enough on its own for me to be blessed with really 2 amazing kids, and for my firstborn to be such a breeze. Don't get me wrong, like, it was hard at first. Like, she was defiant and strong-willed, but always such a love bug. She was always loving and very social. I mean, yeah, even now, she's still defiant. She's my little rebel, I call her. She doesn't know I call her that. Now she does.
Well, you said she's going to be a world changer.
Yeah.
Right? So, hey, she's got to have that rebel in her.
Yeah, I truly believe that about her, that she can absolutely change the world around her. She has that kind of passion and drive. So, yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better teenage daughter experience, because there are plenty of times I hear stories about my teenage daughter this, my teenage daughter that. And I'm like, I don't got those problems. Like I don't deal with that. And not to say that she's not, doesn't have attitude and things like that, but, like, I don't know, our relationship, we grew up together, put it that way.
Mhm.
I was 19 when I had her, so I literally had to grow up while watching this little person grow up. And so it's a little easier to be, you know, my daughter's mother as well as her friend, I guess.
Yes, yes. Which I think every mom here, that's their experience. That's their relationship with their daughters, your friends as well. People make people shun that, or they, you know what I mean. They make that a bad thing, but I think it's so beautiful. I think motherhood is one of the greatest gifts ever, ever. I mean, I've been through a lot, and my marriage failed. My marriage of 23 years failed, but having the gift of my children or my daughters, it was worth it. I have to say, you know, just being able to have the love of my children and being able to love them as well. Question to the daughters: what quality in your mom was one of the best quality in your mom that you see in yourself?
One. So I'm gonna try to follow the instructions, ma'am.
I know, right?
One thing. One thing in
Ruth,
her that I
stop
see.
it. I'm not looking at your mom. She's gonna have me crying all night.
She will have you crying or cracking up or put glitter on you through the computer. One of those three things that my mother would do. Okay, so one quality, there's a lot of them, but
Or should I say top three? Give me the top three and then
top three.
Expound on one.
If you okay. Fun. I get a lot of that from her. Really like the entrepreneurial bug. She was the matriarch in our family for that. I definitely did not get that from my dad's side. So fun, entrepreneurial, and we've never had dialogue about this, but it's just coming to me right now, so I'm gonna say it. Knowing that it's okay to feel beautiful as a woman. She didn't say, hey, this is okay. We didn't like talk about it, and I'll just expand on that, I guess. Because mom always took care of herself, like physically, but not in like a diva, like I need to have total diamonds and BMW type of ways. But she took care of herself, and like her appearance and her skin, like her skin still looks really good. Like
she's
even now, like
beautiful.
you wouldn't know. And so like it's really like a way of loving yourself on the outside and knowing that it's okay. And we actually should, like we have permission. It's healthy for us to think that we're beautiful as women. Even knowing that, I think that's one of the things that that I see. Yeah. Experience.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Next.
Is it my turn? Okay. The first thing that I thought of was defiance. And the second thing was like, I guess you could say like spirituality, having like a strong sense of like a connection to something greater, whether that's God or whatever you believe in. And then kind of going off of what Angie said, just like embracing your femininity and like being strong in that and like really expressing your womanhood without shame or guilt and not.
Yeah.
It's like on both my mom and my dad's side, they're very conservative, not like don't embrace their sexuality, don't embrace like any sort of like sensual nature. And
Not
so
at all.
no. And so like it's really nice having a mom not that it's wrong to be conservative, like do your thing, but like it's nice to be able to like embody my femininity in totality and not feel ashamed for it, especially for my mom, because I have a lot of friends who do kind of have moms that are really ashamed of like being a woman, and that's it's sad because then you do grow up kind of feeling you won't be as confident and you won't be able to like really like embody that no matter what you look like or where you come from. I just think it's like such an important thing to really embody your femininity and like stand strong in that. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's nervous. She's in speech now, so let her get a moment.
Yeah. You got this, baby.
Right. So
World changer. Come on now. Your first platform.
one of the three things, like the biggest thing I'd say I get from my mom is definitely her strength. Cause like day in and day out, like she's always working so hard, and like through all like the emotional stuff and like the hard physical stuff, she works like every day, even when on her off days. She comes home, she's tired, but she still does what she has to do, even for other people. And I try to be strong. And yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
What else?
Y'all gonna make me cry. I have to say, when I used to live in the art space, and Dominique found out I could sing, and she knew that her daughter had a voice to sing, and she had her to come and start taking voice lessons with me. And great voice. But Kai decided not to continue because of her concern for her mother. The money.
She didn't want to be a financial burden. Blew me.
That moved me. That's heart. And I love that. But I hope she's still singing because she has an amazing talent.
I keep telling her she's not listening. It's okay.
I sing by myself.
You do? Okay, well, I can't wait to hear you.
She sings loud enough for us to hear. It's true.
Right?
What are your other two?
My other two, let's see.
No
my
pressure.
other one would be definitely her like outlook on life. Cause sometimes we'll be in the car and it'll be just the two of us, and it'll be like sometimes like late at night or just like a beautiful day. And she'll tell me like the things that like stick out to her throughout life, like specific, like sometimes it'd be music or like a moment in time that like a certain smell or sound reminds her of. Like she has a very beautiful outlook on life a lot of the time. And I feel like I got that from her, because like sometimes it'll be like I'm sitting by myself or like on the bus and I'm like, wow, this moment is very beautiful, you know? Or like a specific thing will like very like stick out to me, like how the sun hits that car beautifully, or like how like there's this rainbow in the sky that doesn't exactly finish. It's gorgeous.
That's it?
Yeah, for that one.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
That's awesome. Wow. Yeah. Beautiful gifts. Well, now I'm going to have you all go back to back. Mother-daughter. When were you the proudest of each other?
Ooh. Wow.
Never?
Sorry. We're really pondering.
That's a big one, my dear.
That's a big one. Take your time to think about it. We have time.
That's a big fish. We gotta look at it head to toe here. I don't know.
It's true. It's true.
It's a big old thing.
Through like the lifetime, because I know I just did. Like I just scanned. Like,
how do you? Yeah, my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say for me, because the answer would be different tomorrow. Okay, so today I would say every day, and it's not like every day I talk to her, because there can be a day where like I don't talk to her even a couple of days, even though we live like a mile away from each other. You know, but like today, her wisdom and insight and stuff in the conversation made me so proud to just see how she's able to look at things, the perspective she can give things. You know, some people could look at it this way and it could just like, you know, that's it. They're wiped out for a month. or, you know, and that's just how they are. That's how they're wired. And so today I would say, like, even though the conversation wasn't long, the depth of all the layers of what was within the conversation, and to know, like, oh my gosh, like 5 years ago, she wouldn't have handled that like that. Or 10 years ago, she wouldn't have handled it like that. So to me, just the seeing kind of the automatic responses that are second nature for her now because of all the growth and all of the healing she's had to go through and all of the things that she's laid down that have been hard to lay down, but she laid them down anyway. And, you know, the joy in laying something down is once you surrender it, you just got to trust the process. But there's all this growth that comes out of it, right? So, or they can be, if you allow it to be. So today, I was so seeing proud of her today, but unfortunately, I could be more proud of her tomorrow because it's a whole new day and she'll blow me away again.
Absolutely.
So does that make sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, because I think people can tend to forget how much work it takes to not say the first thing that comes to your mind to someone else. Not and
Teach
whether,
me.
whether
Oh,
it's on
say
Facebook,
Dominic.
no, whether it's on Facebook,
Dominic, what'd you say? Teach me.
huh?
Girl, come knock on my door. I live in the next building. That's what I do for a living.
Okay.
I give you
For me,
free session.
Sound good.
Because for me, because like we grew up, we're like, oh no, you are not saying that to me. And there's got to be some of that, like you've got to have some of that feistiness to survive. I get it. Okay. But there comes a time where it's like, that's not getting me anywhere.
Right.
That's not building me to where I need to go. It's not helping my family. It's not helping our patterns, all this stuff. So for me to watch the progression, and not that the progression has stopped because it hasn't in either of us. Okay. So to see the progression, to me, that blows my mind away because my grandparents weren't, no. So to me, no, you don't have to be, you know, the CEO of a Fortune 500 company to have all these strengths and qualities and characteristics that impact in such a huge ripple. Like you don't even know, you think I'm just doing this little thing as a ripple. No, darling, you're making a damn wave with what you ain't doing that you could be doing.
Yeah, Lord. Preach. Ooh, so, that's okay. I got all kinds of tidal waves swirling around me because I got to use a lot of self-control because I think people need to be handled. But the Lord's like, hold on, Angie. Don't choke them. I'm like, but they need to be punched in the face. And God's like, just wait. And I'm like, oh.
That's so funny.
Thank you so much, Mom. Mom's a talker.
She's fine. She's fine.
I think there are two main things that stood out to me when you asked that question. So I'll just share that. When I was 12 and she finally left my birth dad who would beat her. Woo!
I know.
You saved everybody's life that day. Oh, I didn't know at the time. It took me a long time to realize I'm really proud of that. That was actually amazing and strong as hell. That's one huge thing. And when she started her own business, and again, we didn't have a class, she didn't teach me, and we didn't have a specific dialogue about we can have a better life than our family has had before. And we don't have to settle. And we can, Mom's a big risk taker. She's not afraid of hardly anything, which I love. And it's in the right way. Like she's not afraid to spend a little money to make a little money, or afraid to say no sometimes, and afraid to be nice to herself, and all these different things. But when she started her own business, and then a little bit after that, when she would quote people and she increased her rate, Really proud of that.
Yeah, know your worth.
Give me some of that.
That's the thing. That's the thing, because there's nothing wrong with going slow and doing introductory rates or specials, or, you know, for 3 months I'm offering this rate. I think those are great. I think it's wise as a business, all those things. But once you started getting known and people started personally requesting her, and there was something that happened in her, like her yes and her confidence and her worth, and she said, you know what? The city of so-and-so asked me for my rate, which first, that's a big deal. And she's like, you know what? And I gave them this amount. I'm like, you did? And she's like, they said yes. They already signed their contract. I'm like, okay, yes, get it, honey, because we're created for greatness and wealth. We all have every right to have that. And, you know, we used to think, people used to teach that like money is bad or wanting money is bad. That's a whole bunch of lies. It's all crap. And so when it was still the leaving my dad and the business, and then the growth of her courage to put a dollar sign on her worth. And to be quite honest, that really impacted me so much. I just started working with a family and I gave them the highest rate, hourly rate. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what they say. I'm going to say, this is what it is. And I just had something in me said, just throw the higher dollar amount out there. And it's still not a crazy amount. Like, I'm not a person, but I did. And they were like, oh, they didn't even blink an eye at it. And that was a big example to me.
Yes.
A big example. So I'm proud of her understanding her worth and her value. Both decisions took understanding her worth and her value, and the understanding of, I need to do it differently. Yeah. Leaving my dad, the business, and charging a reasonable amount of money. So, yeah.
Beautiful,
wow.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes.
The moment I was most proud of my mom is when she decided she wanted to start her own type of business. Like, stop working for other people and make her own money. And then she decided to like broaden that view, finding new organic produce, and she's connecting with people that she knows, using her connections to like really make this happen. And she's working at it. Like when people say like bad things or like bring negativity towards her or like don't always help the process, she's so she still works for it. She does everything she can to like make it work. That's what I'm proud of.
Beautiful.
I have to say, I am proud of two things that Kylie does. Extremely proud that this child, though I never really taught her, she just kind of, and Kylie has always been one to absorb the environment around her. And most of the time, it's almost always the positive stuff she absorbs. But her sense of duty and responsibility is ridiculously crazy. I don't know where she gets it. I mean, there have been times where I've seen Kylie studying on a Saturday. Like, what? You're studying? It's Saturday. You realize that, right? And she's studying because she wants to get the good grade. Not because I'm pressuring her to get good grade. You try your best. That's all I care about. But this kid really wants it. Don't get me wrong. Her senioritis is kicking her. Can I right now? It's kicking her. But right at the same time, like, yeah, her capacity to be so responsible, not just for her schoolwork, but for her chores, for the people around her, her friends, her brother. She's a great big sister, even though it took her some time to accept that role. The other thing I'm proud of Kylie for every day is her capacity to just, I don't know how much can I curse, but like, not deal with the bullshit. Like, my mom is a handful, right? I'm sure we all have some stories, but like, I have stories. Like, and Kylie is the one person that my mom just automatically listens to because she already knows Kylie's not for it. But at the same time, she also has the capacity to still love her through it. And so it's like, she sees the way people are, and she can like separate herself and protect her energy and draw a line, which I've never had boundaries at her age. So for her to have that boundary, but at the same time, still cross the boundary to accept and be willing to give the love that she gives. Amazing. Extremely mature for a child her age. Like she's always had.
How old is she?
17. But like you're talking like she had this kind of capacity like ever since she was small. Baffles me how compassionate and giving she is to those people who can seemingly just not seem to care. Like really, like I said, I couldn't have prayed or asked for a better kid. Like I really, like I'm still trying to figure out like, so God, like what I do. Like and I'm bragging on her because I need her to know that.
Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. We're so proud of you. So proud of you. Yes.
You said my favorite word, boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah, something your favorite word.
Yeah, something I didn't have that she definitely knows how to invoke. Even with me, like, Mom, I just need to be alone now. And she'll shut the door in my face. And like, I'm just like, no, she won't slam it.
Yeah, no.
But she'll be like, I just need some time. And that's something I don't know if I taught her through my own needing time, but she's really good at just, this is my limit. I've reached it.
I love that at her age, she knows the importance of self-care.
That's so healthy.
17.
Oh yeah, she's real good at self-care. Better than me.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. So we learned from her example, right?
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. But and can I just like to that point, you're Dominic, and you also give her space to do that.
Right. Right.
That's both of those parts together, like
work together.
Kai is like, hey Mom, I really just need to be alone or whatever.
Kylie, sorry.
Dominic is like, okay. That right there, that's where the beautiful, healthy dynamic comes in.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't have that freedom as a kid. You know, I
wasn't
I wasn't allowed to do nothing. I couldn't be creative. None of that. Like
neither side. Neither person had the ability or the understanding. Yeah. And so this is the beautiful thing here. Is when we as mothers give our daughters space for that, this is how the family cycles can change in a positive way.
Exactly.
Giving them a voice and a choice. And like you said, she's not slamming it in my face. No, just like, hey, this is what I need. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't smiling. It's more like it either makes me sad or makes me mad, but I have to deal with it on my own.
See, that's a very important part. Yeah. Either way, then that's your journey to deal with that part. She's not really wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
My daughter does it to me all the time. And it's healthy.
It is. It is. Absolutely.
There's so much to say about Nina. God. She's sort of she and Yoda are sort of interchangeable. Because she's so damn wise. She's taken a lot of really sad, what we label as bad and sad, and losing a father, losing her health at a very young age. She's really turned those two things around like an alchemist, I suppose, and made it, I don't want to say a positive, but she's really churned that all around. She's very spiritual. She, from what I can tell, has a relationship with her dad, even though he's passed away 12 years ago when she was 13 almost.
My condolences.
Very adult-like. And she's also, if you don't mind me saying, Nina, she's had type 1 diabetes since she was 3. And that disease effing sucks, period. But she has changed her diet. She's had a little bit of a struggle in high school, and unbeknownst to me, but has turned all of this around, and she's just kind of taken off like a rocket ship with her own journey.
Come on.
Went to Australia by herself during college, made all these friends. She's just a very independent, not just free thinker, but she really has the skills. She's harnessed these skills to take these really, really sad parts of her life and make them into something that works for her, something positive. And not only does she just help herself, she helps other people. She's going to help a lot of people. So I really admire her. And it's not even nothing to do with me. She just has that gift. And I think when she was little, she's like, what am I something wrong with me? Why do I know that our dog is going to die? Or why do I know that, she just knows things. And now she's kind of harnessed it. And I think it's going to be her life's work to help people. So she's got it in spades, and she knows how to work with her gifts.
That's awesome.
And
That's
she's off to
awesome.
great places and off and away. Even if she ends up in Australia, which the other moms are like, don't you want her to come home? Don't you miss her? I'm like, yes, but if that's her journey, my God, who am I to stand? Again, I think kids come through us. Hopefully I taught her right and wrong, a couple of spiritual nuggets and some fashion sense, maybe, and how to wear eyeliner. But other than that, she's on her own. I mean, she's got my endless support, but she's really taking all her gifts now. She's almost 24 and really going with it. And I cannot wait to see what transpires, what she's going to do, what she's going to continue to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a cool kid.
Awesome.
Thanks, Mom.
Just call her Yoda.
No.
That's what I call him. I'm not gonna think.
We'll leave that for your mom.
Yeah. One of her
That was beautiful.
nicknames for me.
Yes. I'm a nickname gal. What can I say?
You and Dad.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Mom.
Welcome, Zoom.
Okay, I'll go. I feel like it's hard to pick just like one singular thing, because I'm always proud of my mom. And like I was saying earlier, like she's just so defiant and resilient. And even through like everything we went through, like her, my sister and I as kids, and through especially my teens, we always just made it work no matter what happened. I guess like the one thing I'm incredibly proud of her was leaving her ex, Tim, who, pardon my French, fucking sucked. He was terrible.
Hey, say it like say it like it is.
He really just, it's hard. I think as women, we know what it feels like. I think we all can collectively know what it feels like to be, shit on by a man. And it makes your self-worth just go down the toilet, because we put so much into that. And so she managed getting out of this marriage, and then also having Sasha and I as teenagers. And I wasn't an easy teenager to have. I had a lot of health problems. I didn't listen. We fought all the time, and she still managed to make everything work and worked her ass off, and really like gave Sasha and I the best lives that we could. And, all my friends were these like rich suburban kids who had two parents and like huge houses, and like I had a single mom. And, there's far worse scenarios, of course, but like we made it work. And she always like wanted to make sure Sasha and I felt like we had enough and that we'd be able to like take care of ourselves. And so like, yeah, I'm always proud of my mom though. She's badass.
Come on. She's a badass. Yes.
Figured it out. And she's just like the strongest woman I know. And just makes, and another thing, here's the one other thing, is she makes everyone in her path feel so seen and heard. And always like, I remember as a kid, like anywhere we went, she'd always give someone a compliment and go on and on and on about that one thing for like 10 minutes. So like I've taken that on now, where I'm like, I see the way my mom can make everyone feel so good, and I want to do that for people. And so like she's like all my friends will come to my mom with stuff. Like they always know that they can come to our house, and like my mom will be there and like, be a mother figure for them.
Yeah.
So I kind of definitely like looked up to that and taken on those qualities myself. Like I love just like helping people feel seen and heard. Loved, so yeah. Suzanne's a badass.
Agree.
I still have more ass to kick though.
Oh yeah, still going.
Just saying.
Y'all heard her singing, right?
Suzanne's a rock goddess.
She does a little bit of everything, but she's definitely a rocker. She's definitely a rocker.
And I'm learning soul. I got to give myself. I'm learning a little bit of soul.
Oh,
I'm learning it.
Well, let me ask a question. And I know Kylie is the young. How was it for you coming from your background and teaching your daughters about sex, men and sex?
No, I want to answer this one.
Oh, you want to answer? Okay. Go for it.
go.
All right. So when I found out I was having a girl, because I'm a Virgo and I think I plan ahead. Like I'm literally always planning ahead. Always. Okay. So when I found out I was having a girl, I'm like, so at some point I'm going to talk to her about having sex. So it was in that moment that I sat there and I really thought about my method, and I figured I'm going to have 3 talks with her, at least 3 sex talks with her. First one, talking about herself and her body and how it might change. I had that talk with her when I was, can I talk about it? Okay. I had that talk to her when she was 8, thinking, and this is no way disrespecting the Latinos, because I was obviously with a Mexican. She's Hispanic. She might have her period early. So I had this talk with her when she was 8, and at 9, Kylie had her first period.
No way.
9. Wow.
She was ready because we had the talk at 8. She was ready. She called me, and I think it happened at school where she said, "Mom, this is what happened." I said, "Okay, what'd you do?" And she told me what she did. And I'm like, "You followed all the instructions. You're a good kid. I'll see you when you get home. We'll talk more about it." But because we had the conversation at 8, she was ready at 9. And so I think she hit middle school. That's when I talked about her body and how it will be different to boys, and talked about boys, and not necessarily real, just real technical at that point about that. And I talked to her about it, and she was like, "Ew, gross, and this is what happens." And she was totally grossed out. She was totally wigging out. She hated it. She hated the talk altogether. But you know what? I don't care. I don't filter anything. Like, that was always me. Once she hit high school, and again, I'm having this thought while I'm pregnant with her. I'm like, when she hits high school, I'm gonna keep it real with her. Like, look, doesn't matter if you've been with one person or 1,000 people, your body will always be precious. Don't ever let anybody else ever tell you.
You were thinking about this talk when you were pregnant with her?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I don't ever want my daughter's I don't ever want my daughter's self-worth to be
impressed.
Other people's view of what she should be. She should be a virgin until she's married. She should be a virgin. No. At the end of the day, your body can be violated when you've had no partners or when you had 1,000 partners. Your body is always precious, whether you had. Doesn't matter. Your body is always precious. So you should always take care of yourself. And when you're ready to have sex, and only when you're ready, you get to decide. And please be sure to protect yourself. Don't let anybody tell you having a condom makes you look like a whore, this, that, and the third. Like, I went in, like, I told her everything. Like, she put her ears at that point, but at some point she started to really accept it. Like, okay, this is what I need to hear. And I think I even had a 4th talk where the 4th talk was like, boys are a dime a dozen. They will always be there. Have fun, date, enjoy life. You don't have to get married 30, whatever. You see, and I'm in my 30s and I still get approached by men all the time. And I told her that I still get approached by men all the time. They'll never go anywhere. So don't worry about being in high school and forever love and high school sweetheart. That's old. Like, get over that. Like, teenagers, and I told her teenagers are not emotionally strong enough to handle the relationship plus the heavy petting that comes along with the relationship and maintain a normal, healthy mental state. They can't. You can't do it. I told her, I said, you've seen your friends fight with boys. You've seen them argue with boys and have these discussions and have all this drama that they're wigging out about on the phone. And it's like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's not worth it at any age, but at least when you're older, at least you have the mental capacity to deal with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, I had no problem because like when I first had my period at 11, the speech I got was, okay, now you can get pregnant, so be careful. And yeah, that was literally the talk I had. Like, you're able to have kids. That was it. And my mom sprung my very first gynecological appointment on me. Like, I was, I think, either 11 or 12. I didn't know what was happening. She just took me, and there I was crying my eyes out because I had no idea why this doctor is violating me. A doctor I'd never met.
Wow. What? Wait.
Yeah. Because I didn't know. I wasn't mentally prepared. No one told me what a gynecological visit consisted of.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't prepare your kid for that, and So
It's traumatic.
I had concern. My dad was present, but not present, put it that way. He was absent in his present. My mom was military and Haitian. Old school Haitians are like already set back a decade. She was born in the 50s.
Right.
Her thinking was like in the 40s. So she was caught with, my mom is caught between trying to be a rebel and holding up these, holier than thou Haitian values. And then she's a military parent. So she didn't know how to communicate with me, just the simple things. And that was the big thing I just wanted to put the kibosh on. When I was pregnant with Kylie, I'm like, I'm not going to let her walk in this world and go out into the world blind and and let a little boy sweet talk her. If anything, I want her to be the manipulative one. Like at the end of the day, I want her to have boys wrapped around her finger. Like that's what I'd rather have than to deal with her.
That's not going to do it.
No, she's not. She's a sweetheart. But at the end of the day, like I'd rather have that situation. So yeah, that's how I had to deal with that. Like, I'm just gonna be real. Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I don't want her to think everything is all gumdrops and lollipops in this world. Like, this shit is right. This life is always pretty, especially in the realm of when it comes to your body. So you need to be the one regulated. Sorry, I get real passionate about that one.
No, I love it, especially I have to say, especially in the African American community, sex and our bodies, there was like so much shame and, from our ancestors and all the things that, the trauma, we've been talking about trauma bonds, right? That stuff that's handed down to us. And like, we weren't allowed to embrace our femininity. At my age, I'm still learning how to like totally embrace that. I'm 53, And so for you to even figure that out and you make sure you broke that cycle for your daughter, I mean, that speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. That's awesome. So I love that you're so passionate about it.
Yeah, I tell that to all, like any of the young people that get around me and they're like talking about sex, because there's a lot of young people like I deal with. I'll let them know, like, let's keep it real. This is what you're doing, and you need to be doing it. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. Like with Kylie, it's like you make your decisions, and I'll let life punish you. But at the same time, I'm there as support. So I can only teach you. I think Suzanne said it earlier. It's like I can only teach you so much. All the good stuff. It's up to you to make your decisions after that.
Right.
I had the total 2000% opposite of Dominique. I tell you what, that face, that's the good face. That's with her loving me through my ignorance.
She ain't lying.
I ain't lying. Talk about shit. I didn't even know I had shame in not only understanding my own femininity. I mean, Lord, please. If somebody, I mean, why the hell did somebody not tell me? Oh no, things like, for example, oh no, when you're working out or you're hanging out with your friends and you might get sweaty like under your breasts, that doesn't mean you're a pig.
Yeah.
No, boob sweat just means you're human.
Yes,
basically.
Yes. Like people are saying you have sweat glands where you don't know you have sweat. Like there was no deodorant. There was no deodorant for certain body parts, right? So like if you're
put a little powder under there.
Yeah. So all those things can, if you come from my culture or my family, who all they know how is to talk about something, and you hear, oh, this girl does this, that makes her, I gotta stay focused. I literally had to get healed from the shame of all of that and not having conversations with my kids about sex, because there is shame in that, because like when you love somebody, Dominique said it full well, she didn't want things repeated, right? That she had already gone through. Okay. Right. She knew she was responsible, and love takes action, right? Sometimes it can be too much action, but love takes action. In my case, I saw it as love doesn't say a lot. There was no sense in it. There was no sense in that. But I also love how Dominic said, like, he was present, but he wasn't present about the dad. So like,
Yeah.
I had a lot of adults. I had a lot of aunts, cousins, you know, a lot of family, but nobody talked about things that mattered. There was so much discussion about things that didn't matter. You could talk all day about things that didn't matter, but the things that mattered, how to have conversations that could be hard, how to understand that if you don't understand something, it's okay. Don't be shameful about it. It's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You're not in trouble. Those conversations didn't happen. So, you know, when I got to the age where the girls were getting to the age, it's like, what did I do? What does a stupid person do? It's like, oh, I'm going to go to a bookstore and I'm going to buy like a kid's book. Now they say if you want to learn anything, get a kid's book. If I wanted to learn how to knit right now, I would buy a kid's book on knitting. If I wanted to learn how to speak Cantonese, I would buy a language book designed for children,
kids,
about learning Cantonese. Okay.
So
I bought her and her sister a book that had like cartoon images. And I was like, I got this for you. Here you go.
That's literally how it went down.
You can't make this stuff up. I'm sorry. Char, I'm sorry. I wish I was a better liar and I could come up with something.
No, this is perfect.
That's literally what happened.
That's literally what happened. And no, okay, so that in itself, obviously, it's going to have ramifications that was healthy for nobody, you know. But what's worse than that to me is that it still has taken me years to have difficult conversations around sexuality with other people in my family because there's some really hard things that need to be discussed. And I still can't have those conversations. And some of it has not, it's a whole different side of sexual conversations now. But that's the thing. I love how Dominique said, you know, like she was aware this is what she saw. Oh, hell no, this ain't happening for my baby girl. Okay.
Awesome.
But it was that resilience, and it was that I love her so much that I'm going to take the action. I'm going to overplan. This is what I'm going to do. And so, of course, now Angie and her daughters have a lot of great discussions about very hard things because she's got the wisdom to understand, you know, things don't have to be repeated. So, yeah.
I do just want to say really quick, like we're laughing and it was funny that you got a book, a cartoon book.
Absolutely.
I think I was 11 or so and my sister was like 10 and we're like, this is like, you know, we're because we didn't know, but it's always important that we try to have compassion on the other person, why people are the way they are. Now we're like, it's funny, it's ridiculous that it was a book, but you getting that book, that was your way.
Her way. That was her way.
Mom, you did but you getting that book was a million times more than what grandma did for you. That's grandma up in heaven.
Right.
You doing that book. That's why, like, I know it's funny and we can joke about it, but I'm going to give you credit for it because that was your only way of trying. You didn't know what else to do. You were not taught the tools. You were not equipped. You were not empowered. You were not educated.
Right.
So you were like, here's this thing. You handing us that book was your way of trying. Your way of trying.
Yes.
And so
thank you for seeing it that way because it took me a lot of appointments to find that myself, that was to me, that was my let me throw them a swimming jacket. What do you call it? A floating jacket.
Life jacket?
Life jacket. That was like, okay, I can't swim, but I can throw this to them.
That's right. That's right.
What it was. Yeah.
That's right. Ruth,
Absolutely.
I come closer to Ruth as far as how I was able to teach my girls about, I really didn't, because again, like I said, there was so much shame. And then I grew up in a very strict religious upbringing. And it's just shame, 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 shame. And I felt my body changing and I didn't know how to react because I felt like I was the biggest sinner, you know what I mean? And then my first, I was sexually abused by a female cousin. So that was just like, I never told anybody. And, you know, it was just, and then men on top of it, and a boy, it was just everything that had to do with the sex was just like, what is happening? But when my girls got her period, I did the same thing. I went and got a little pamphlet. I gave her the little pamphlet, and then I sat her at the computer. Never since you made me.
No. Why? The whole world is out there. Sure.
Literally.
Whole world.
Porn. I was like,
That's one way to learn.
No. You sat her at the computer, and then what?
I want to hear more. Yeah, I want to hear more.
The details.
ask for the details. It was so bad. That was so bad. I wish I had time to go back and undo some things and do it over. But they turned out beautiful in spite of. Yeah, in spite of. And we do talk about that. We're just like not being so uptight, you know, undoing all of that and just embracing who we are, our femininity, our sexuality, and just being free, you know, but protecting that as well, not just giving it just to anybody, but, you know, loving you enough. Yeah. So Ruth, I got you beat, girl. So
we do the best we can, and it's amazing how well things can go despite us,
right?
You know, despite what our hand we had in it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we had a with both my girls, Nina and her younger sister, Sasha. There was a mother-daughter tea at our school, at their K-8 school, and I didn't buy them a book. I didn't do any of that. It was this little tea, and they had somebody come in from the community and talk about all this stuff. It's like somebody did it for us. So talk about which was fine. I don't know how Nina felt about it or Sasha, but I've always been pretty open about sex, and I didn't have that growing up. I had I played the cello when I was a girl, you know, through high school, and I got my period. I was probably in 7th grade. I was 12. We were down in Springfield, and I realized I had a little spot, and I had to tell my mom. We used to wear black pants and black outfits for orchestra. And I remember thinking, oh my God, there's this stuff in my underwear. What do I do? And my mom just pointed to her cabinet. She didn't tell me, and I'm not mad at her, but that's how probably she grew up. So there was no openness about it. It was a very shameful thing. But she did let me stay home for the first couple days of probably my first 6 months of having a period, you know, like in 7th, 8th grade. I had such an easy thing because both girls at good old Oak Grove School, they did this mother-daughter tea where they talked about, it was just mothers and daughters, sort of like what we're doing here. Very graphic about diseases and protection and feelings and hopefully some emotion.
I wish I got the Robert Crown Center. Anybody remember that? I wish I'd done a tea.
Right?
I just heard about the Robert Crow staff that goes into school like last week. I didn't even know that was a thing.
At least they go to the schools. They used to bus us to the Robert Crown Center where we'd have to sit with the boys and the girls and give us this whole talk about.
Oh, see, it's better to not have boys around because they're just so stupid. They're giggling and no, this was about getting your period, what to do, how to take care of it, and I had no problem talking to them about it. I'm curious to see what Nina says because I don't remember buying a book. I used to tell them I was going to do this Native American ceremony called the Canalda that the Dene or the Navajo do, where they bake it's a 4-day process when the girls get their period. It's a big, proud cool. I used to joke with the girls a lot about, we're going to do a canalda ceremony and you guys we're going to bake corn cakes and, to make it more of a celebration. I like the fact that, and I don't know a lot about Native American cultures, but I've done a little bit of reading, and it's a celebratory event. It's not this shameful process. It is, you are a woman now, and with that comes responsibility. And I was kind of in some very lame suburban mom kind of way, like, okay, we're going to be different, and I just wanted them not to feel any shame.
Yeah.
That being a female is the best. It's the most powerful, not power over men, because when you say that, men, because they've dominated over us, or they think they have. There's such a power, I would tell little girls, you plop those tampons down at the 7-Eleven or where at the grocery with pride, because of your ability, we're all here. Nobody gets through this planet. Nobody gets to the earth without passing through the Red Mother, meaning the Red River that takes us all here. So that is a beautiful power and ability that we have, that whether you have children or not, whether you have one, whether you have 10, should be proud of. So I'm putting Nina on the spot. I hope there's some pride in being female, because I think that's really important.
That's something you instilled in me. So yes.
Well, I don't know that I did. I don't know. I used to joke about the corn cakes. Mom, oh my God, stop. We're not going to get up at 6 a.m. and run. Because these girls have to run like miles. And it's
I got baptized the day I got my period and stuff.
Oh, I know. I was a little late with all that Christian stuff.
Well,
sorry.
My dad's mom insisted that we got baptized because she's super religious.
But that same day?
What?
But the same day?
The same day. So I was 13 when we got baptized, because we never were. And then my grandma was like, "You're gonna go to hell if you don't get baptized." So my mom was like, "Shit." So she went to church for a year, which was weird because we were at Unitarian church for a long time.
Ugh.
Very hippie church, essentially.
Too hippie.
So
Too hippie dippy.
Church to church, which was weird. Anyway, the point is, I got my period the day I got baptized. I was 13. And I was like, oh my God, is this some sign? Am I a demon?
I'm so sorry you felt that way. Oh my gosh.
Not at all. Not at all.
Of course. Now I'm I fully embraced my period. I'm
that's a blessing.
It is
yes.
a blessing. So I love syncing my moon cycle, or syncing with the moon. And that day I was like, oh my God, I got my period. And I was so upset. I remember I was crying to my mom, and I knew she wouldn't make it a big deal, but she was like, "Why are you so upset?" And I was like, "I got my period, and I got baptized today, and I'm a demon." I was freaking out.
Just go
hormones.
Yeah, I know, it's a little bit
accurate. It's accurate for the time.
Yeah, it's so. But yeah, no, you were super chill about periods and sex, and it was never I don't know if we ever had a big talk about.
I think I did. Pretty lame.
It's kind of when I started doing stuff, I guess, with guys. I probably talked to her about it, and she was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, let's talk." It was never a weird, it wasn't a big deal, which I liked. I didn't want to have this big sit down, because I'm very independent and adult already. So I think as a 14, 15-year-old, I didn't really want to talk to my mom about that stuff. And now I'm super open with her about everything, maybe to a weird fault point. She knows everything. So not everything, but and we're open about stuff. So
yeah,
I know. It's so funny. I'm just learning how to even be open about my sexuality, and I'm hoping to be with somebody soon. But Crystal called me on FaceTime, and I had on a dress that was very see-through, and I didn't realize that all my boobs were you could see it. I would like to have somebody to play with these at some point.
Yes. Yes. say that.
The worthy one. Make sure he's freaking worthy.
Right. But just to be
90% of them aren't.
But just to be
Higher.
able to vocalize that, you know,
Higher.
what'd you say?
Higher than 90%.
Thank you.
99. Like,
But, you know,
99
it
point.
felt good.
Problems.
And you ain't one. But anyway, but you know, because you know, we hid our bodies. We weren't comfortable showing our bodies. So the other day, you know, with now being older, and she came over and I was in the shower, and it's a glass shower, you know, so you could see my body, and she's like, "Mom, you really look. Your body still looks so nice." And, you know, just for her to even be able to admire that about me, I was just like, thank you. You know, that just like did something for me. Just embracing, I'm a few pounds overweight than I was, but just her seeing the beauty in me and teaching me how, and I think that's what our daughters do too. They teach us what we weren't able to teach them. There's some things that they teach us, you know, to embrace that. Both my girls, they do that with me a lot. They build me up.
The Celine Dion song, that's actually like the song. That's the song for my youngest daughter. Like every single word in that song, like I will find myself when I'm getting really concerned about her. I play that song and I just literally my heart's cry for her.
Wow.
The go-getter and feisty and knows what she believes, and I love that. That's part of I love that about her. And she's also been through a lot of really hard shit. And the part about letting go. And so that song is really actually very specific, special song for me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome.
Wow.
I was gonna say, there's this YouTuber I watch who made this video today about like sacred sisterhood and how important it is. Like, I don't feel like more beautiful and like safer than when I'm in a room full of women and when I'm being held in the feminine gaze versus the masculine gaze. Because like for once, like when you're around a group of women, you're being seen for like more than just, you know, your looks and your boobs and your body.
Right.
Seen like for your essence. Like I always think of like the feminine essence and like how like as women we just like no matter like where you come from, there's just this like understanding and this like feeling and like you just know it's just this like the most sacred thing, and I just like so this is like so cool and like so powerful. Like,
so happy.
Held by a group of women is just like the best. Just the
emotional. Yes. Angie has 2 daughters. I want to talk about like this generation. Like my daughters aren't in a hurry to have kids at all. You know, what about Nina and Kylie? I mean, I know you're 17 and you're probably you're driven to get your education and all of that. But at some point, what do you think? Are you looking forward to becoming a mom?
I'll go.
Okay.
I want to be a mom so bad. I think I genuinely only want one, like, and I've always kind of felt like I'd only have one, and like just because like with my health it's kind of like not, I don't want to say it's dangerous to get pregnant, but it is like a big deal for a diabetic to get pregnant. And so I always kind of was like, okay, if I can even just have one, like that's like so special. And but I feel like I do have like a very like motherly energy, and like so many times my friends have said like you would be just like the best mom, and it makes me stop because it's like something I want so bad. And just to like have that just special like experience like of growing life inside of you, it's just like it blows my mind, and I'm so excited to do it. I'm not in any rush by any means. Like I have way too much to do. I'm a Capricorn. I'm very driven. Like I have a lot to do and I want to do, but I know like when the time comes, I just like I'll be all for it. And I have a lot of friends who don't want to, and I think that's like really amazing, honestly, because I do feel like there is a lot of pressure on women to like be a mother. And if you're not, it's like, oh, that's sad. Like she didn't
Right.
have kids and she must be so sad. When like that's just not the case. Like I think it can be so empowering for people who don't want to have kids, whether you're married or not or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's definitely something I like really look forward to and like dream about and just like, yeah, I'm a nanny. I love kids. Like
Oh, sweet.
they drive me insane, but I love them and they teach you so much. And I just like
That's basically parenting.
Yeah.
exactly. So
Basically.
yeah,
You love them, they drive you insane.
Mhm.
but, yeah, no, I'm really excited. I've always had this feeling that like my younger sister would have kids before me for whatever reason. Not that that really matters, but
Mhm.
yeah, I just know because of my health, it's like something that's really important to me. And it's honestly been like a driving factor in me like really taking charge of my health because it's something I want so bad. So like taking care of my body so that I can have a child and then be there and like, you know, be healthy and fully present for them is like really important. So, but yeah, so
Beautiful.
I'd love to have just even one little bit. You know. So yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Well,
Don't make me no grandma. No, I'm just kidding.
well,
I'll take the grandbaby.
I do think about it a lot. Well, not a lot, but as I think about my future and like where I'll be 10 years from now, I think, well, I think depending on where I am, like how I am financially, who's around me, and if it's all good, I think I would like to have like a daughter of my own.
And then she has a boy.
Right. She said, I was thinking that. What if you did have a boy?
You
What if
can't choose.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I would. I've always told myself if I wanted a kid, I would like a boy. But in the back of my mind, I think I would really love having a girl because I love my relationship with my mom, and I would.
Get the Kleenex back, sure.
I was doing fine.
She wasn't ready. She wasn't ready.
Hear these
Dominic,
things,
that's
Dominic.
I would love
Dominic,
to
you need to hear these things.
I would love to carry a relationship like that, to like nurture it as my own, because my mother made her own family. So I ever made my own
Dominic, all uncomfortable.
Get some Kleenex. Oh.
I know.
But yeah, I always think of like if I did end up having my own corner of the world, like my mom does, I would love to have people that I can bring into the world and teach and show them the way and have them create their own legacies. That's something I would love to do, I feel.
Speak it, baby. But it's in the atmosphere.
Can I respond to Kylie? You said, if I have a little corner piece of the world, and I just want to encourage you. It's not if, honey. It's not if. You don't have to say, I understand why you're saying that as human nature, but when
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have, and to be quite honest, you actually probably already have that. And then also you said you love to be able to like, you know, teach. What you're saying is you want to impact lives is what you're saying. You were saying it in a way like as a mother, but you actually can do that now before you have a human growing in your tummy. And so I just want to encourage you, however that sits with you, that it's not ifs, it's when. And it doesn't take being a fully grown adult and being a mom to have the impact you can do right now, today.
That's right. Okay. Whew. Her existence, I feel it. There's like this major energy right now. Wow.
Because I don't know, I'm really feeling Angie's heart in that.
Yeah.
one of the things that was important for me to kind of acknowledge, and like Angie said a few years ago, I just kind of got this understanding about my value and all of that. One of the things that I had just seen around me, and no one went to these conversations, but was my perception. Okay, so the perception was everybody. Now I grew up in Michigan, where at the time, like during the 60s and 70s, probably 75% of people were considered, having a pretty good job. And I'm not taking away from that at all, but they had a pretty good job if they worked for General Motors, Ford, Fisher Body, and those were the companies that put these cars together. Okay. All these automobiles all over the United States and the world. Well, and that was considered you were doing pretty good. Okay. So I didn't know anybody that had their own business. If I did know anyone who had their own business, they didn't look like me. They were educated.
Say that.
They certainly weren't. I'm only 4'10". Okay. So they were taken seriously because either their color of their skin, the caliber of their education,
Gender.
or the family they came from. Well, nobody told me that when I had interest in this as a teenager, that actually was the start and the birth of some of the things future to come. And nobody told me, no, you don't have to work at a factory. I was just the example was you're doing pretty good if you're working at the factory. Nothing wrong with that, but that was my understanding because that was the circle of which I was in. That was what I knew. So when Angie's saying that, it's so powerful because, like, oh my gosh, the stories I could go into, but I can see now how the things I'm doing now, which really, I've only been in business 5 years. I've only been painting like 6 years. So I didn't even know I could do any of that. Okay.
That's incredible.
I was the person who was like, I was trying to decide what I was going to do when I grew up. Okay. And I just decided to start growing up. So when Angie's saying that impact and influencing and nurturing, oh my gosh, it can be found in your everyday, day-to-day world. Your walk around, get up, go to school, people you're passing every day that need that right now. And you don't have to have your degree. Yeah. You just have to have the heart. You don't have to have the right, anything behind you. I'm telling you, I'm a self-taught artist, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm not that amazing, but I will tell you the one thing, people do business with me because they know me, they like me, and they trust me. And I'm going to make you feel welcome. I'm going to make you feel like you're seen. I'm going to make you feel like you matter. And I don't care. I'd rather have people hiring me for that than because of the degree I have behind me, because of the amazing resume and all those things. And so I just wanted to piggyback off of what Angie was saying. Angie, that was a really good thing that you said to Kylie.
Powerful. Yes.
Yeah. Your everyday, your community is already waiting for you.
Yeah.
Come on. I like that. Your community is already waiting for you. I think this is a good time. We're going to get emotional again, for the mothers and daughters to validate each other.
Dominique, go first because she doesn't want to cry.
You're so bad.
No, it's not. It's such a good thing. It's such an awesome thing.
The reason why I started all of this adult conversations with CHAR, my background is very dark. And I don't have a relationship with my father, don't have a relationship with my mother. My marriage ended. And it's like, me of all people, how does that even happen? You know what I mean? I don't have any of that. And I feed off of these relationships. That's why I think every opportunity we get to tell our loved one, build each other up, we do it as often as possible.
And just so I have clarification, how should one validate their child? Because, and not because I'm not contesting, I'm not trying to sound
Oh, I know. I know.
It's more like, what does that look like? Because I think personally, I do it with the little things with Kylie. So in my room, I keep a portrait up of my eldest that I took.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that she knows that I leave that there, not because I took the picture, but because I think my daughter is beautiful. And I want her to know that she is so important that she should have a space, her own.
Wait a minute. Dominic, can I just interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
Can you just look at her and tell
Oh,
her?
don't do that because we're not.
Affirmation. Affirmation.
Char, that
Yeah,
is a
this is
great
important.
thing. And if you
At the same
I'm
time,
gonna ask it to you as a life coach and me anyway, so
hold on.
Because you're telling us, but I want you to tell her.
No, because she knows this. I've told you.
I know.
I keep your artwork because I'm proud of it. And I think you do beautiful work. Your artwork is on my wall. Your face is on my wall because I love that you are this amazing artist that I could never grow up to be. We have these talks all the time. You are stronger than I ever was. You're smarter than I ever was. You are the version that I wish I could have been at your age. You are just awesome. You are an awesome kid. I never get tired of telling you that. Okay? I'm grateful to have you in my life. You're a wonderful daughter. You are my sunshine, okay? I hope you never forget that. I'm not really good at showing it with affection, but I do what I can when I have the energy. And even sometimes when I don't, because sometimes I need it too. I love you. Okay?
So nice you're together.
I know.
No.
I know. All right, your turn.
Ooh, Kylie's turn?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, this is me.
You're a hot mess.
You.
I'm all crying. Look, she's making jokes.
Yeah.
Good. Crying's good.
Okay. Mom,
Yes.
I love you. You are my pedestal. You always hold me up. Always, always. You always make it a mandatory everyday thing to let me know that you love me. Even if you like go straight to your room, you'll send me a text or you'll send me anything. You'll send me a picture of a cat and be like, "Oh, I know that even when you need your time, you're always thinking about me and my brother. You're always thinking about us. And when I need my time, I always know that you're gonna be there. Always, even when you don't have the energy, you will crawl on the floor to get to me. I appreciate everything you do every single day. Thank you so much for being my mother and raising me to be the person I am today.
You're welcome. It was easy. Not always, but
Yay.
Beautiful, you guys.
So good.
Oh.
So. Mm.
Gosh, Nina, I hope she agrees with this. I try to tell her every day she's an angel on this earth. She's going to do things. She is doing great things. I admire her so much. I think maybe in a past life, she may have been my mother. She's given me readings. But I think we're both on a bit of a spiritual mission to break these destructive patterns of, not to go into detail about what those are, but with my matrilineal line and the Canuti side with her dad's side, we're both kind of on a mission to break those patterns and have a more empowered, just as women in the world, and be that way and encourage each other to do that in our own way. And it'll be in a very different way. But Nina, you're an absolute angel on this earth. And I admire everything about you. Everything about you, your openness, how people come to you. They come to you for advice, which you are, I think, going to get paid handsomely to give someday. Not that it's about money, but you are gifted. And I admire what you've overcome in your life with the death of your dad, and to be specific, and your health. I have no idea what it's like to do shots every single day. And I wish it was me. I wish I was the one who had that disease and not you. That's probably my biggest wish. I wish I had it, not you. So I don't know what else to say. I just, sky's the limit for you. I admire everything about you, how well you did in school. It was really difficult in the beginning, and high school was pretty rough, and you did okay, but you made the most out of college, and you got scholarships, and you were just had the radio show. You just became yourself so much through college and early 20s. And I do. I look up to you. I know you're younger. You're my daughter, but you're ageless, and you're going to make a huge impact. And if I have to let you go to the other end of the planet to do it, then so be it. It's your path. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, she's the coolest.
She has a pretty cool mom. Just saying.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Suzanne. You too are an earth angel. And oh no, here they come. Oh boy.
Right.
I was like, I'm fine. No, you're just the most amazing person, and you have given Sasha and I enough love for not only 2 parents, but 1,000. And you, God, there's so much I could say. You never failed to make Sasha and I feel so loved and like accepted and heard and seen, and like you gave us both so much space to just be who we were, and you never for a second like told us we couldn't be something or couldn't do something. You always instilled in both Sasha and I, like, no matter what we want to do, we can do it, and there's nothing, that's going to stop us. And you're just the kindest, sweetest person. You see the absolute best in every single person. And you just love so hard and so much. And you just have the biggest heart, and your capacity to just love and accept everyone is just the most beautiful thing. And I can't say enough kind words about you. I talk about you all the time and how amazing you are and how cool you are. And I think one thing I'll leave with is just that, and something I'm very, very, very grateful for is, I remember like as a kid, I was just telling my therapist, you always said, God is love. And I've taken that with me, and that's been like that's had the biggest impact on my life. Just having this belief that like everything is love, and just, yeah, you just love so much. And I'm so grateful to have had that, because I know a lot of people grow up with parents who just don't either know how to love or don't love or can't love themselves. And so I'm just like beyond grateful for that. And you're just a badass. And I love you. You change the world. I don't think you realize your impact on people. Like your energy and your essence is so just grand and beautiful, and your just ability to just, again, love and just care for people, and it's just amazing. So I hope you see how special you are and how much impact you have on everyone. So
Thanks, Sue.
love you.
Beautiful.
Love you too, girly.
Beautiful. The energy in the room, man. Woo! So much love. So much love. Wow.
I'll try to go. The reason I said I'll see if I can try, because it can be very difficult for me to find the right words to describe something. So, Angie's always been so good. I should say she's learned so many things, and so she's taught me so many things about having these conversations often. And so she's good at affirming me. And I try to affirm her. It's still such a new skill for me because it wasn't something I learned. So I try to affirm her as much as I can. Angel, what I love is that since you know so much and you're always growing and learning, I love that you can love me fully despite how bad I was at loving you fully.
Mm-hmm.
I love that you can love me with a heart that's supernatural, that has nothing to do with the heart that's beating in your physical body. You love me with a love that's so beyond what you were born with. And your capacity to see me through that lens blows me away. And I love that because you've been so willing to learn and grow and lay things down and just go to different levels of what you were born to be, that because of that, babe, you can be soft as a rose petal and you can be as rough as sandpaper. And if I got to go to war, I know the first call I'm going to make. Okay.
Let's go. Where we go? What we need to do?
She's like, hold my purse.
Hold
my wig.
Where we going? Who gonna get dealt with?
Yeah. I'm serious.
Gangsta.
If I gotta go to war, well, first, okay, I'm gonna call all these ladies out here. First of all, because y'all are beasts. Okay. No,
yeah,
I'm
mount up all these regulators.
That's right. No, but I'm gonna call Angie if I gotta go to war. Same thing. If I'm broken and I'm a mess on the floor, and I need somebody to pick me up or play with me on the floor, she'll lay right there by me. That is something that I did not put in you, but you opened your heart to become that person. You could have let a lot of things in life keep your heart hard, but you fought for your life that you knew you had a calling to be. And I love you so much for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I think you painted a good picture there. I think it's really accurate. And I think I know I've said this before. One of the biggest gifts that you've given me, Mom, was when you accepted my invitation, when I invited you to grow in our emotional capacity. So a couple years ago, when I started learning, like really learning about like actually deep healing and emotional intelligence, all the information was new, and I just thought, oh my gosh, this is such good information. I never knew about this stuff. And one of the first things I did was I was like, Mom, there's this, like, it's this thing. It's a concept. I don't know what it, I don't even know how to word it, but I'm learning this stuff. Like, we can be better. Basically. And like, I'm gonna really learn and dive into this, and I'm gonna apply it in my life, but will you learn it with me? Can we like do it together? And she's like, yeah, sure. And there's different people that I follow, and counselors and therapists and Brene Brown and tons of different people out there. And we've been learning it together. And I've always been like a little little like ahead because I found it first. And she has given me the space to invite her fully. And we're running this race together. And the men in our family are sort of living on Mars with this type of dynamic. And we love them to pieces, but they don't. It is what it is.
Go get them, Angie. Go get them. But we'll talk about that.
It's not. I've tried for many years, and now it's my turn to pause. And it's time for other people in the family to invite them. And it's actually time for them to say yes for their damn self. It's very hard for me because I have very, very low capacity for passive men who are absent and disconnected. It's a passion of mine. And part of my purpose is to call them higher because the family system breaks down when the women are drowning, when the men are absent, disconnected. Well, I've told my mom, and mom will say it again. Thank you so much for journeying with me. And it has helped me so much to not feel alone in this. And as a single woman still right now, it can be easy to feel alone, but I'm not alone and I'm not stuck. And it's so funny. It's interesting that we did this episode today because yesterday and today, my mom and I have had a different level in our relationship. There's one thing that I'm going through that's been like brand new for my heart for the first time that I've ever gone through. And it's a good thing, sort of, I think, with a male for the first time in my life, this specific dynamic, because I'm a whole different person than I've ever been with when they're a male who I've never been interacting with a male to this caliber. Like, yeah, regular men with just dumb old regular penises, but I think a super penis. So, and I don't even mean because physically what he's capable of, although I'm pretty sure. But I've never encountered a man who's like this, and I've never been this version of me as I am right now. So because of that, this is a brand new thing. It's a brand new thing. And I have all these things going on inside of my mind and my heart. And I'm like, normally there's my, she's my coach and counselor. Normally I'd get on the phone with her and be like, oh, here's what's going on. But I paused and I was like, I think I'm going to call mom. And I called her yesterday and she was about to actually do something important and she stopped. And I said, I think I need you to pray for me, but I really need you to just like listen because I have a lot of things. And she's like, okay, what's going on? And I just like poured everything out. And thank you, Mom, for giving me space to like be seen and heard. And she's hearing like the 45-year-old, mature, healed, confident part of me. And then I'm like, but I don't know, is this the thing? I feel like I'm 14 on this little side because I don't know what's happening. And she's like letting me be all the things that I needed to be and just listening. And one of the awesome things about you, Mom, is that you don't try to fix me and you don't try to give me advice right away. And that's a thing that most of us moms don't really learn to do. I'm still trying to get better at it myself, but just listen and be present. And you let me do that. And even today, like day 2 of the saga, I'm still, the where that is. And you gave me the space and you're being my mom and you're being my friend and you're validating what's happening and you're giving me hope and also reminding me, and if it's not a thing, if this thing doesn't end up being a thing, like you're still good. You're still good. And I just, the different levels of what you've been giving me the last 2 days. And I think I even told you probably a couple of times, I'm like, you're being the MVP right now for me. Like this is exactly what I needed from you. And in this specific topic, like I'm not talking about it with anybody else. It's just mine and you, me and you and God, and then this other person. That's it. And so I just appreciate like how you're learning to mother me in a new way at 45. It doesn't matter that I'm 45. It don't matter that I'm not a teenager or that I'm 10. It doesn't matter. So the things that you have beat yourself up about that you weren't before, it's okay because it's being restored now. It's being restored now. And it's not too late. And we just have so many years of life ahead of us, both of us. So it's only going to get better. And so give yourself grace. I've given you grace for it. I'm not mad about the things you weren't before. You didn't know how to be that. It's not your fault that nobody taught you that, but you're doing the right thing because you're learning it now and you're applying it now. And so I'm just so, so grateful for that. And I cherish you and I just honor you and I just love you for all the things that you are and even all the things that you're maybe not yet, but you're trying to be. You're trying.
Worth all the work. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Have another dialogue, but I think as people see these shows and people who they don't know how to do life, they don't know how to do these kind of relationship things, and watching this, I think is going to be encouraging for them and giving them hope and tools that, it's possible to change.
Just to be willing to grow. It seems
Right.
like everybody here has had a lot of adverse experiences for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. It seems like everybody here is growing.
Yes.
And that is such an awesome
like
thing.
growing in that, I feel community again. We're not just in our own little spaces and our own little families, but just what we've done here tonight, what we just put out in the atmosphere is powerful. So let's keep it going. Go ahead.
I think there needs to be a myth for the whole world. And I'm bludgeoning this quote, but you guys know who Joseph Campbell is?
I don't.
He's kind of the spiritual guru. Yeah, I'm dating myself. The Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
He's kind of the spiritual guru for one of his quotes is, "We need myths that connect man or woman, not with his local group, but with the whole world."
Oh my gosh. This is a fierce group of women.
Fierce.
Yeah, so diverse. We have so many common threads.
Yes.
That's what makes us strong.
Yes. We all have boobs.
The Gigi.
And they sweat.
And we all have the universe between our legs.
Yes.
The universe.
That's for sure.
And a boob sweat is okay, gentlemen.
You're not a beast if you sweat under your boobs. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Bringing it full circle. Right.
Full circle. I love you, ladies. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for putting it together.
I'll be in touch. My pleasure.
Nice to meet you, ladies, by the way.
Well, nice to meet you all.
Love you all.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Char.
All right.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.